Good morning today, or good afternoon. Today we're working on packet number 2 for pre-algebra. It is due on October 17th, so that Tuesday before MEA, so make sure you have it. You could turn it in early and then you can make corrections on it. If after watching the video explanations you still don't understand something, find some quiet work time to come ask me for help. Our first page. Ice hockey, football, basketball, and golf are the favorite sports of Shelby, Ashley, Gary, and Greg. Gary does not like ice hockey or football. Shelby's favorite sport is not played with a ball. Greg's favorite is neither basketball nor golf. And Ashley does not like a sport that uses a stick or a club. Which sport does each person like best? This is key. Some of us that have turned their packets into me have given me multiple sports that people like. Nope, they only like one sport. And that sport cannot be repeated between people. So one person to one sport. So it can't be multiple sports for one person. So the way to solve this is to make a little table. So we've got hockey, football, basketball, golf, and we've got 4 people. We have Shelby, Ashley, Gary, and Greg. So you go through and say, okay, what information have they given me and how can I narrow it down? So I know that Gary doesn't like hockey or basketball. Sorry, not basketball, golf. So he doesn't like basketball or golf. So I'm going to X those off. That can't be Gary's favorite sport. Ashley does not like a sport that uses... Oh, I'm jumping around. Oh my goodness. Let me just take a breath. All right, I'm at Gary. I jumped down to Greg. They're both G's, and I got myself confused. Gary does not like ice hockey or football. So now I'm at Shelby. Shelby's favorite sport is not played with a ball. So Shelby can't like football, basketball, or golf, because golf has a golf ball. Oh my goodness. Do we know which sport Shelby likes?
Yes.
Yeah. Can anybody else like hockey?
No.
Okay. So then now we're at Greg. Greg's favorite is neither basketball nor golf. So you're going to cross those off. Ashley does not like a sport that uses a stick or a club. So you cross those off. Process of elimination, you will be able to find out. Don't just say that, oh, Shelby likes hockey. Remember, nobody else can like hockey. So when you circle one for somebody that, oh, this is the only one they can like, nobody else can like it, so cross it off for other people. Olivia?
At home, so like once I got this book, and I used to do these all the time with my dad, and I had them. So at home I have this book, and it just has like those like kind of things in it.
Nice, so this was an easy page for you.
I love it.
Okay, so next page. Marissa called 2 of 3 members of her softball team to tell them their practice schedule for the week. So we're starting with Marissa. She is on the team. She calls 2 members of her team, right? She's calling 2 people. Each of those members called 3 other team members. So you're going to draw your picture. Each of those members then called 2 more members. So draw your picture. How many girls are on the team? You're going to count how many people are calling people and how many were called. We're not saying the answer. Okay. So you're going to continue the picture. I didn't finish the picture. Continue the picture. This is how your answer makes sense because you drew it out there. Okay? Remember, this is not the answer. I did not finish it. You make sure you finish it. Lucas, did you have a comment or a question? Okay, we're not doing comments during the video. We're trying to keep it short, okay? So we're not going to do comments. Raimi. Marissa is on the team. So Marissa called 2 of the members of her softball team. So she counts as a member because it's her softball team. 5-card challenge equaling 10. Think about that order of operations we were working on for our objective. Use those parentheses. You have a 2, so you can square or do square roots. You can only do a square root if you have a 2 as a card. But you can use any of these cards as exponents, right? You could have 2 to the 7th power as long as you can work it down to be 10 for your answer. So order of operations using parentheses, using exponents. You can use the square root if you have a 2. Okay, because then you would say your 2 goes here for your square root of 2. Not really easy to do a square root of one of these, but just know that you can do square roots when you have that 2. We have to get 15 points. Challenge yourself to get more. Challenge yourself to find a 5-card challenge. Use all 5 of the cards. Some of us have done that with the first packet. They were able to find a 5-card challenge. Gabe. All right, next one is the patterns. Now, the scanner on the color copier wasn't working, so I had to scan from the office, and it didn't come out in color, but your page is in color. So you've got yellow, blue, pink, yellow, blue, pink, and then yellow. Find the pattern as we're adding on blocks. How many are in our first figure? 1 yellow. Are there any blues? Nope. Are there any pinks? Nope. How many total? Second figure, how many yellows? How many blues? How many pinks? Total. You're going to complete that whole table. See if you can find the patterns.
Oh, okay.
So find your patterns as you're completing it, and you should be able to finish it. If you're not sure what the pattern is, then keep going and draw your own. Okay, so we've got, just have the yellow, we've got the blue, we've got the pink, we've got the yellow. That was from figure 4, so now figure 5, we're gonna have blues. So then count. And if you have to draw more pictures to help find that pattern, that's okay.
I see the pattern.
That's great. All right, next page. Finding the perimeter in the area. What does it mean to find the perimeter, Jude?
It's like the whole entire inside, like the inside of the figure. Oh wait, the perimeter? Oh, the whole entire outside.
The whole entire outside. So you're adding up all of the sides. If there is not a number there, you need to figure it out based on your other measurements, what that side length is. Add them all up. That is your perimeter. How do we find the area? Jude.
The inside of it.
Yeah, inside. So we have to do multiplying. We know that the area of a rectangle is length times width. Is this a rectangle?
No.
Well, how am I supposed to find the answer then? Lucas?
You divide it off into sections.
I'm going to break it into sections of shapes that I can find the area for. So now I have a square, I have a rectangle, and a triangle. Squares and rectangles are length times width. How do I find the area of a triangle? Henry.
What I did was I actually made that a rectangle, but then
I asked if we're just following along. We'll talk about that later. How do we find the area of a triangle? Kaylin?
Oh, it doesn't like the legs add up to 360.
You're thinking circles. Dominic?
1/2 of width times height.
So we don't say width. With a triangle, we call it a base
Base times height.
and the height. Okay? So 1/2 of the base times the height. So we have to look at this. Our base, so we've got, this is called the diagonal. It's called a hypotenuse. Not a base or a height. It's the hypotenuse. So we don't want that. We don't want that for the triangle. We want the base is that straight line there, and the height is this line here going from the base to the tip of our triangle is our height. So we know our base measurement is 6. Do we know our height measurement? How can we find it? Henry?
Just add the 4 and the 6 because they're yep, the 6 and the 4
Mm-hmm.
to get 10.
Okay. Is my height 10?
No.
So what is my next step I have to do? Matthew? Here is 4 plus 6 was 10. What is my height, Matthew?
Well, there's the 2 on the
Yeah. We have to subtract out this 2 right here, which gives us 8. When we have 2 variables right next to each other, just like with that parentheses, when something is right next to a parentheses, it means we multiply. So 1/2 of 6 times 8 gives us our triangle area. You still have to find these areas and add up all 3 areas together to get the answer. We're not giving answers. Do you have a question?
Can you just write instead of 1/2 times 6 times 8? Can you just do 6 times 8 over 2?
Because it's the same thing. 6 times 8 divided by 2. That's what you're doing when you multiply by a half. Multiply a half or divide by 2. Remember when we talked about those fractions? When we can flip them? So it's the same thing. So you could either say 1/2 of the base times the height or the base times the height divided by 2. It's the exact same thing. Kaylin?
So like when you look right here, it's like this is a little bit farther to the left. Does that go to the right? Does that count as another like?
I'm not sure what you're
So
talking
like
about.
if you were to draw a straight line down from here, there's like a little.
Oh, no, that's just the picture got wonky when we
So
copied
it
it.
doesn't count as an extra.
No, so this line, you would just draw straight to the point, to that corner. Okay? Jude.
I did it like I put the lines a different way. I put them a different way, and I stood at the same.
Yeah, because you could have made a triangle or a rectangle here, right? Is that what you did?
I did it like I did a line down from the to make
Come
a
here, show
triangle.
This triangle, same triangle?
Yeah, that one.
Okay, same
And then
triangle.
I put a line from right
This
there
way?
to yeah.
So it's the same area. Doesn't matter how we divide it up, as long as we're finding the areas of each section. It's the same amount all added together. So yeah, you could divide it up in a different way, but you're going to get the same answer because it's the same area, no matter what sections we divide it into. All right, next page. Making our net, like we talked about with our flushes in social studies. We have to draw it out flat. So we've got our shape here, like that Kleenex box I talked about. We need to cut it open and lay it down flat. So we've got our bottom, we've got a side, another side, we've got the top, and then we've got the ends. So not only do we draw the net, we have to label it with our measurements. It's not easy like the cube last time where all the edges were the exact same length. That was super easy. Now we actually have to think it through. So if we look at our 3 and our 4 for that bottom, if I call this my 3s and this my 4s, this is my bottom. One away from it's going to be my top. So it's going to have the same measurements because the top and the bottom of my Kleenex box are the same size. Now I have this space with the 4 and the 5. Look at this, I already have my 4 and the 4. So I know this length is going to be my 5s. Now comes the part where we really need to think this through. Remember the size, those edges of our Kleenex box going up. If this edge is a 5 right here, what is this guy's edge going to be? Because they have to match, Claire.
A 5.
It has to be another 5 because my 5 has to match up with the 5. Right? They have to be able to fold up and be the same size. So if this is a 5, the one across from it has to be 5. If this is a 3, the one across from it has to be a 3. Because those edges have to match up. You're going to fill in your last one. All of our faces need to have their measurements on them. Now our last part is finding the surface area. To find the surface area, you have to find the area of each of the faces of our net. And then you add them up. So remember, to find the area of these rectangles, we do length times width. So 4 times 5 is 20. 4 times 5 is 20. This one's 3 times 5. This one is 3 times 4. You have to write in the area for each face and then add all 6 faces up. That is your surface area. I know I'm going fast, but you can watch this video at home this weekend to help you draw your net and label it. So watch it again this weekend if you weren't quite done with it. Figure out what your surface area is. This one, we have the same rectangular prism, but this time we are looking for the volume of it. We need to know the formula for the volume of a rectangular prism. We did this on our last packet. Who remembers what's the volume of a rectangular prism? Henry.
Length times width times height.
Length times width times height. Everybody has to write the formula in. Next is we have to write out what our calculation would be for our length times our width times our height. So we have to write down that calculation, what we're going to put into our calculator. Length times width times height. Now we have to do the math. So you're going to do the math and write your answer here. So what is the volume? We multiplied a centimeter times a centimeter times a centimeter. So our answer is going to be centimeter cubed, because we multiplied 3 centimeters. Lucas, sit down. Be respectful, I'm teaching. We don't get up and walk around, okay? So write down, figure out what 3 times 4 times 5 is, and you're gonna write the answer here, and your label will be centimeters cubed. Now our pre-algebra question is, what is the sum of the figure's edges? So you have to ask yourself, if your height is 5, each of those edges that are going up are going to be 5s. This is a 3, we know this edge is a 3. We know what this edge is, we know what this edge is. Now if our width is 4, look at all of your widths. And then you need to add those up. Okay? So you need to find the sum. Sum means we add up all of your edges. Yes?
Wouldn't we use the net for that
On part.
So when you use the net, there's going to be more numbers put on there because,
Because of those
Right.
sides going up.
so we actually want to look at the 3D figure because there's one edge on a net, you count it twice.
Yep.
But an edge, there's only one. So we just want to use this to find each edge.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So you don't want to count them twice. You just count it the one time. Adding.
And then after this, you add them all up.
Yeah, what is the sum? So we add up all of the edges and that answer goes down here. And since we are adding, it is just centimeters. Because we're adding. We only do centimeters squared, centimeters cubed when we multiply. So we are just adding, so it's just centimeters. Next page. Logic. You can use each number 1 through 4 in each of our squares. Oops. 1, 2, 3, 4 in each column, in each row. So figure out where your numbers fall. Next page. It might be out of order because when I had to scan it, but our Pre Algebra, is Channel 1 News a popular program? So Channel 1 News viewing figures, we have our 1 p.m., our 6 p.m., our 9:30, and our 11 p.m. news shows. Millions of viewers per day. You need to decide, do you think Channel 1 News is a popular program? Use specific data to support your answer. Give evidence. So you have to say, yes, it is popular, this is why. Or, no, it's not popular, this is why. Use your graph to give your evidence. When it says support your answer, that's the evidence that Mrs. Gregory talks about. Rowan.
Can I look up like how much other news stations get to compare?
Sure. All right, next page. Doing our polynomials, I don't know how to really pronounce that. Figure out how they fit into our word hey. So figure that out. We know how to do this page, and we did it the last time, and that is the end of our math packet. So if you are watching at home, I hope you are well, and I hope to see you soon. Have a wonderful day.